China's playing a game of risk. This is in theory, but why risk an international fight for rocks the size of a parking lot? And money is just the first thing on the menu. China dominates this market. Vietnam is not backing down. They're just daring China to blink. The price is bigger than China's ego. Middle finger to China's. The big question is, can Vietnam make China back off? Who's ahead in this game? China keeps crossing the red line and wants to invade Vietnam, especially targeting two groups of islands right next to it. But why? One thing is for sure, it's not for the view or the beach, because there is no beach. So why risk a war for these rocks in the sea? So in this video, we're gonna explain why these tiny islands keep on appearing in the headlines every quarter, why China is obsessed with stealing them, and how Vietnam is fighting tooth and nail to keep its sovereignty, one nail salon at a time. So let's get started. To understand China's obsession with owning all islands it sees in the region, look at Vietnam's map. People think Vietnam is tiny. It isn't. It covers over 331,000 square kilometers of land, roughly 128,000 square miles in Southeast Asia. Vietnam is a long, skinny dragon stretching 1,000 miles south of the China Sea, like a geographic middle finger to China's southern belly. To put Vietnam in perspective, it is slightly smaller than Germany, which is the 66th largest country. You wouldn't say that Germany is small, right? Also, it is 3/4 the size of California, but with triple the population, crammed in the size of Germany. The real headline is the coastline. It's prime real estate, hugging one of the busiest waterways. China's licking its chops, and those two islands are the appetizer. Two island groups, Paracels in the north and Spratly's in the south, sit like a door lock on the coastline. So why are these two groups of islands even disputed? They're not even beach resort material, mostly rock outcrops that are barely big enough for a picnic. Turns out it's not even about the land. It's about what's under, around, and through it. China's playing a game of risk, and Vietnam's islands are the jackpot. My name is Ken Duong, International Business Immigration Attorney by day and CCP headache by night. With over 16 years of experience helping individuals and companies wrestle with Vietnam laws so they don't have to. Now, let me show you why those rocks matter more than China admits. So, let's explain the 9-dash line thing here. In 1947, someone from Beijing grabbed a marker and looped 9 dashes around roughly 90% of the South China Sea, scribbled over waters that Vietnam, the Philippines, and half other countries call home. By the way, we should stop calling it the South China Sea. The Vietnamese call it the East Sea. Even the Gulf of Mexico has been renamed to the Gulf of America. So why don't we give it a name that is neutral, such as the East Sea? The Hague Tribunal ruled it illegal in 2016, declaring China's historic rights claim without lawful effect. Beijing shredded the verdict and doubled their Coast Guard patrols. Since then, Chinese Coast Guard cutters, survey ships, and the occasional suspiciously civilian trawlers keep coming south of those dashes where Vietnam's fishermen call home. This is in theory. Not too long ago, 2 Chinese destroyers and a surveillance jets cruised past Vietnam's oil blocks, calling it a routine patrol. Routine my foot. They're testing Vietnam's nerves and Hanoi's not amused. But why risk an international fight for rocks the size of a parking lot? Because the price is bigger than China's ego, and that is saying something. And here are the 3 reasons why. Reason number 1. Resources. The EC is sitting on a hydrocarbon gold mine. 11 billion barrels of oil a day and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, based on the US Energy Information Administration. That's enough to power China's factories and its piggy bank for decades. Vietnam's Spratly and Paracel Islands, they are smack in the middle of this treasure chest. China wants cash and energy security, because who needs solar panels when you got oil rigs, right? This isn't speculation. Chinese ships harass Vietnamese fishing boats and eyeballs oil platforms like a bully stealing lunch money. and money is just the first thing on the menu. Quick reality check. 80% of you are not subscribed to this channel. It's like ordering a bowl of pho, sipping all the broth, and then leaving all the meat. That is borderline criminal. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, it confuses the CCP bots, and it guarantees that you'll see the next video when we expose the reef that grows faster than China's GDP numbers on paper. Oil and gas are not the only motives of why China wants to invade those islands. Reason number 2, strategy. These islands are a military gold mine. Control them and you control $3.4 trillion of annual trade. That's a third of the world's shipping, per the Center for Strategic and International Studies. It's like owning a toll booth in the world's busiest highway. China's been turning reefs into bases faster than you can say artificial island, complete with runways and missile launchers. But why? To choke the sea and counter the US Navy. Vietnam's islands are the perfect stepping stones. Think about it. A Chinese base on the Spratly Islands could block trade routes or launch attacks in a heartbeat. It's not just Vietnam in the crosshairs, it's everyone. But wait, there is more on China's shopping list. Reason number 3, fish and some rare earth bling. The East Sea is a seafood buffet, feeding millions. China's annual fishing ban, like the one on May 1st, just says, "This is ours," and they leave Vietnamese fishermen high and dry. Vietnamese spokeswoman Pham Thu Hằng fired back and said this is illegal and ignored. And then there's the wild card, rare earth minerals. No proof yet, but the geology is promising. China dominates this market. Think smartphones, EVs, and they would love to lock down more. Vietnam has the second largest reserves of rare earths in the world, potentially 22 million tons in the northern mountains and offshore zones. If Vietnam develops this industry, China's monopoly breaks. Now that we've cracked open the treasure chest, let's see how China tries to grab it without firing a shot yet. Step 1, Coast Guard shadowing. A few weeks ago, Vietnam dispatched a law enforcement ship to shoo away a Chinese research ship nosing around Hanoi's oil blocks. Step 2, science survey. China claims it's just measuring tides. Sure, and my grandma's mahjong club is DARPA. Step 3, maritime military swarms. Hundreds of rusty fishing boats idle with their AIS tracker turned off because every peaceful fisherman needs his mil-spec gear and deck armor. Step 4, island remodeling. China repaves sandbars into runways faster than you can say environmental impact report, and then points their HQ-9 missiles at anyone doubting their hospitality. So, oil, strategy, fish, and maybe some tech goodies. China has a plethora of reasons to invade, but Vietnam is not serving them on a platter. They're fighting back, and it's getting spicy. Whew, it's way too hot outside, so let's jump back into Mosaic and continue. Hanoi is not a punching bag. It's working to acquire F-16V fighters, flirted with India's Ma Bros Mach 3 missiles, and already has pumped over 700 acres of new sand into new airstrips across the Spratlys. Meanwhile, Vietnam's bamboo diplomacy bends but never breaks, tightening its trade with the US, signing defense pacts with France, joint patrols with Indonesia and Philippines, and exercises with Japan. Each handshake puts another lock on Beijing's door. We made a video about how Vietnam is rebuilding its military, so click on the right-hand banner to watch that video. Vietnam's economy is on fire. $18.4 billion of foreign direct investment in 2025 alone. That's up 51%. Apple's building iPads, Intel's doubling down with $1.5 billion, and Lego's $1.3 billion solar-powered factory. Every dollar landing in Vietnam is a soft slap to China's manufacturing monopoly. And the people? Nationalism is on steroids. Vietnam youth spelling Vietnam owns these islands in Da Nang, and hashtag boycott China products are trending for days. Vietnam is not backing down. They're just daring China to blink. If you are a CEO or of Vietnamese descent and you're thinking, maybe I should move my production to Vietnam, or it's time for me to get my Vietnamese citizenship paperwork in order, remember, Vietnamese paperwork is a contact sport. Don't DM a Telegram consultant that learned immigration law over TikTok videos. Use a team that wrestles this hydra every day. We do, you build, we choke out the red tape. Done. And of course, every time we say Vietnam needs to stand up to China, the trolls crawls out. And then we criticize Vietnam and the mob screams, DG hates Vietnam. Make up your mind, people. Let's be crystal clear here. When we call out China's bullying, the CCP Keyboard Warriors flood comments. You are Western puppets, ultra-nationalists, Vietnam lapdogs. But the moment we point out Vietnam's broken bureaucracy or its selective enforcement of the laws, a group of butthurt Vietnamese say, we hate Vietnam. Guys, pick a lane. We can't be communist shills and Vietnam haters at the same time. That's not nuance. That's pure nonsense. Nuance triggers trolls. Balance looks like betrayal to people who only see yellow or red stars. Here is our position. Authoritarian bullying is bad. Fraud is bad. People deserve to fish, trade, and speak without a Coast Guard cutter or a court summon hanging over them. If that offends you, congratulations, you just told on yourself. Now, while the trolls are busy typing, let's talk about what happens if this standoff actually explodes. Picture the world's busiest sea lane going dark. Remember the 2021 Suez Canal blockage? Almost $10 billion a day burned. Shut down the East Sea and your next iPhone, your LNG shipment, your Amazon cart all get price tags written in panic ink. Insurance premiums explode, ASEAN unity crack, and the Washington Indo-Pacific strategy starts to look like Swiss cheese. A firefight over the Johnson Reef could nuke your prime delivery schedule. So after all the noise about rare earths, oil, fish, and pride, who's ahead in this game? Are the islands dripping with priceless minerals? Evidence says maybe in 2024, if the deep sea mining tech matures and environmental lawyers take a nap. For now, hydrocarbons and strategic position beat hypothetical dysboriums. China's leadership knows it, Vietnam's planners know it, and now you know it. Which means every new radar on Triton, every new intercept at sea, and every headline that screams near miss is tomorrow's tank fuel and today's geopolitical scoreboard. And speaking of scoreboards, what will make China back off? Missiles, tariffs, or a united wall of no? So why does China want Vietnam's islands, oil, fish, power, and a sprinkle of rare earth dreams? But Vietnam is hitting back with missiles, allies, and factories. Wins for Vietnam, stronger defenses, and a booming economy. Risks, environmental damage, and a dragon that doesn't forget. The big question is, can Vietnam make China back off? Watch those tariff clock, those Spratly runways, and Vietnam's energy push. Those are the punches that will sting the most. China waves dashed lines. Vietnam waves international law, new runways, and 100 million loud citizens. Which hurts more, missiles, tariffs, or unity? Drop your take in the comments, share this if you're Team Vietnam, and let's keep the heat on. So on behalf of Duong Global, my name is Ken Duong. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.